Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is Texture Tuesday where I play with texture. Today is going to get a lot of texture. I'm also using my counter kit challenge and I'm going to scrapbook these two pictures that I found that go along with this page I already did. So this is a page from a while back. I believe it was a Mixed Media Mayhem. I'll link it in a card up here or I'll link it at the end. And I'm going to get started here right away. So this smaller picture, I'm just going to crop out so it's mostly just my daughter. And on my original, I used the Hip Kit Club nested stitching dies. And so I'm going to use them again for this circle picture. And so it was on black and the photo as well had it. And then I stitched in this craft really green color. So I'm going to pull out my needle, which is in this magnetic cup, which I got from a hardware store, and it works really nifty. It keeps the stuff that I want handy that's magnetic in there, and I don't lose my needles that way. It's pretty awesome. I love it. So this is that green craft thread. You can actually get it at Walmart. This one I got from my husband's grandmother who passed away like 15 years ago. So I have a lot of craft supplies from her still, which is lovely, and it makes me happy to use up some of the stuff that she gifted me. So I was looking for my washi tape to adhere this back, and I couldn't find it, so I'll adhere when I get all the way around. And so I did skip ahead in my stitching. Each of these circles took me about 15-20 maybe about 10-15 minutes, not quite 20, but it does take a while, and you probably don't want to watch 5 minutes of me doing that. So I'm just using a running stitch, so I'm going up one hole, down the next one, up the next one, and so I'm not doing a back stitch on this one, just a running stitch. And then when I secured my beginning stitch when I ended this one, because it ends at the same time, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the photo. And a hint about stitching on a photo is you really got to go slow, because the plasticized kind of coating on the top, if you miss it, you're going to make a mess out of your photo. So the photo part of it probably took me a good 20 minutes, even though it's smaller, just because you have to be a little bit slower and a little bit more careful, and a little bit more precise, just because of the way the holes are, like when your needle goes through, it moves that all out and it makes it's interesting. So that's a hint. I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch on the rectangle photo, but I am going to stitch on the black, and then I do decide to stitch on the photo too. And I have this template. You could also use a ruler and a needle, and I'm going to use my stitching piercing tool. So, and then I'm just going to pierce all the way along and all the way down, and then I'm going to rotate my cardstock and line it up and do it the same way again. I'm just finishing up that last little bit because I have the double foam because I don't want to poke through to my mixed media mat, but I need my mat today, so that was my way around it. And then this isn't quite where I wanted it to be for when I cut down this piece of cardstock, but I'm just going to trim off the little bit extra on the one or two of the sides. And then this is where I'm deciding, hey, I do probably want to do that. And then I had one of the corners was not quite right, so I made sure I poked it in the right spot. And that circle is going to cover it anyway, so we didn't even really have to stitch all the way around, but I did. And so I'm just adhering or fastening that last stitch with the beginning stitch, and then that is done. So I didn't make you watch that because this does take quite a bit of time. If you want to see more stitching, just let me know in the comments if you want to see like a little bit more of how to do the different things. I didn't today because it does take a little bit, but Now both of those are done too, and the stitching lengths are a little bit different than on the smaller one, but the scale of the picture is different, so it doesn't bother me, and it adds a fun texture, and I like it. So I had to pull that off because I forgot about that double pierced corner, which is fine, now I fixed it. And then I pulled out, so this is the page that I'm doing a companion for, and so I'm just measuring how big these pieces have to be to do my base frame. And so I'm going to put the two blue ones together, but I'm not going to add it to my white cardstock yet because I'm going to add a whole bunch of other stuff onto my white cardstock for mixed media, and I don't want the mixed media on these two blue pieces. So I'm using glue because it gives me just a little bit of wiggle time to get that squared up. And then, so that's done. I did gut those out because I don't have a lot of this navy or blue left, and they do make great mats for backing, and I want to keep that. So those two pieces to my right I'll use later. I don't know when later, but later. And so this is how I was thinking of setting this up beside my other one. And I pulled out these two stencils. So this sunburst one is from Echo Park, and this other one was like a garden, make your own wood kind of stencils, but it works well for this. So, because I don't, on the original, those tealy green stars that I'm trying to match a color for are actual vellum pieces. So I don't have any of those left. I used them all on that first one. So I am going to use texture paste to make some matching kind of stars. First, I'm going to put the sunburst around my circle because that's what I did on my other one for the photos. And then on my other page, it was in this Color Theory blue ink. So I'm just going to use the same blue because I have it, and why not? And it just makes it go really well together. And then I am getting so low on my texture paste. Look at how empty that is. I think I might get one more project out of it. Maybe. It was kind of hard to get it out for this one. And then I'm going to put this Vibes, I think it's a Vibes, in because this color actually works a whole lot better. And so I'm going to mix it around in the texture paste because then you get colored texture paste. And why not? And I'm also going to add a little bit of a Color Theory. I think this one's the mint one. Yeah. And just add a little bit of that. You can't really see on screen the difference it makes, but it actually did make a bit of a difference with that little bit of ink. And so now I'm happy with that color, and I'm just going to smear it through this star. This is one of the only stars I have in an actual stencil, so it works out because it's about the same size of the big stars on the other page. So, and then so that gets some texture on. The sunburst in the stencil also gives it some texture, and the ink actually gets pulled through on that one star, which is perfect because you can definitely see the ink on the other page through the vellum. So, and then I used this stencil that I got from MK's shop, Some Assemblage Required, because it has stars in it. And I figured, we can make it a little messy on this side. And so I'm just going to smear this through the stencil and on that side, and just going to feather out that one harsh edge. And then I thought maybe I was done, and I thought maybe I'd do some like smooshing with the extra texture paste, but I feel like it needs a little bit of a shelf on this bottom corner. So that's what I'm going to do with the stencil. I put the stencil the other side down as well, so it gives a little bit different texture here too, because some of the texture paste from what I did on the upper right is on that stencil, and it actually comes with the lower left corner there. And they did dry a whole lot longer than you see, but this is a pretty long video already, so I didn't want to make you watch me drying. And then this circle is going to get put up on some fun foam. And so I'm just going to use my glue, and I took the whole lid off instead of just the top of the lid off. I have a fine line needle nozzle on this one, so it doesn't come out as quickly, but that's okay. For this duo, you don't always need a whole lot. And I'm going to get this photo down. I like that it overlaps the stars. So just getting it centered so that my circle photo can be centered with the sunburst or pretty close. And that works out really well. And so on my other page, there is a lot of circular elements and a lot of stars. And so I am going to put a whole bunch of that on here. I did try out this Happy Days rubber piece, and I don't really like it. Like, I like it, but it doesn't work for what I've got going on. There's this leftover circle die cut piece, probably from Studio Calico. I only have half of it, so the half of it's going to get put there. I have these random see-through kind of enamel dots, but you definitely can see through them, so it gives a different texture as well, and they're glossy. I thought about adding a little bit of foam, but I don't like the neon as much. This chipboard piece that I'm putting on now, which adds different texture, says "These details make my heart sing," and it's from Ali Edwards' Details kit. And the chipboard piece that I put at the lower corner says "Pieces of Joy," and it's also from Ali Edwards' Joy kit. And then I have some puffy stickers. I think they came in like, and then I pulled out this vellum heart. But the puffy circle stickers that I just popped around a second ago, they have some funky texture to them. So they are not flat, they're not shiny, but they definitely have like some ridges and stuff in them. And then I was looking at some Kit Club chipboard pieces, and I like this one, but it just doesn't really work for my page today. So I was trying to make it work, but it's not going to. And then a green tabby bit. This one doesn't get the date on it yet, but eventually it will get a date on it. Just not yet. And then this vellum heart, I sneak up here. It's not going to live there, but that's okay. And then I pulled out my Simple Stories, Simple Vintage, and that sticker says "Oh, happy day," and I really like that one. It has the right colors. This one says "The best day," and it's going to overlap that circle, which I like. The one that I just moved it's a chipboard that says "Okay." I tried to get this butterfly on, and it ain't getting on here yet. But I am going to use this flower. I'm going to cut it in half and put half of it behind this Pieces of Joy. And the other half is going to slide underneath this chipboard tab. And that's it with that one. I decided this I'm going to slide over the picture so that it has a bit of dimension as well. And then just going to put a little piece of fun foam underneath, because that will adhere to the chipboard sticker really well, but it'll also keep it from sagging. And then that puffy sticker is going to go over here. I have some cardstock die cut pieces too, and so that's get the chipboard down. This is the die cut. And I've had that for eons. So get in on. I'm adding glue to all these chipboard pieces from Studio Calico and Ali Edwards, because I was looking in my book and some of them have not stayed stuck. So I'm going to make sure these ones stay stuck at least. Adding another one of those textured puffy stickers. And so I cut it in half so I can use it in 2 spots. And then some more of these enamel see-through green dots. And I'm just gonna use a ton of them because why not? And then the heart's gonna go here, which I like. I'm gonna try this happy days one more time. And no. And no. And then I'm gonna put some of these washi tape stars, so another different texture. And I'm gonna use this whole strip of them up. I think this is Studio Calico. And then some enamel stars, and there'll be a couple dots that I use off of that too. And another puffy textured bit, another one of enamel dot. So these are not as shiny as those see-through green pieces. So we have some shiny bits, some not so shiny bits. We have some see-through bits, all sorts of texture going on today. And then these other kinds of stars, or asterisks, in the different green color. And we're getting pretty close here, actually. So I took a quick look at my picture here in a second after I put some more of these see-through ones on. Like, there's a lot of these ones on. And I do have a title on my other page that is GGC Rally Day. And so I am going to pull out my wood veneer, and I'm also going to splatter. So this splatter is in charcoal from Glimmer Mist because I splattered in charcoal on my other one. And then this blue ink I'm also going to splatter. So this is the same ink that I used to do the sunburst, but I also splattered on my other page. So might as well get this on this one too, just to tie them in. Actually, I think they tie in really super well. I'm really pleased with this. And now I just need to add some wood veneer because my other page has wood veneer. So I'm going to pull my wood veneer over here in just a second. And it's in this old, there's tea in here at one point, and so I kept this wood case to put my wood veneer in, because why not? And so I pulled out those stars, and those are also from Some Assemblage Required. And then I did pull out a camera that was from the dollar store, and Love This, which was from either Studio Calico or Ellie Edwards. And I love how these stars work with the stencil. I think they both came in the same kit that I ordered. But man, do they look super cute together. And there is a lot on here, but the wood veneer adds another bit of texture. And so there is definitely a lot on this Texture Tuesday layout today. So I think the only thing that didn't get on here is acetate and thread and cloth. I think for a good portion of a lot of the other stuff that you can add texture for. No sequins or that kind of thing, but there's lots on here. So I'm just getting these spread out so that there's a little bit everywhere. I'm definitely going to use them all up. They are so cute. I'm just pulling off the backing. They do stick, so I'm hoping they stick well because I am not adding glue to these ones. But I thought about moving this Love This and adding it here. It could have went in that little spot there, but I wasn't quite feeling it. It's just going to get put away. I thought maybe the camera, but meh, it's just going to get put away. And so now I'm going to, now that I have all the texture and the splattering and everything done for the mixed media part, I'm going to get this on. And this is my last step, which isn't always my last step to adhere it to the background frame bit, but today it is. So I use tape and some glue. The glue will give me a little bit of wiggle room if I need it, and I don't. So, and Here's a little bit of close-up, and then I'll have some close-up pictures here so you can see some of that texture. I definitely was not worried about making it super smooth, and I did blot out the other girls' faces because their families don't know that I'm going to post this, so it's probably best. There's it all by itself, and then here are the two of them together, and man, do I like that. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed to me, I would love to have you here. There is another video and a playlist up here as well. And if you haven't liked my video yet, I would love it if you would. And thank you so much again for watching. Have yourself a great day.